All right, so we are live. Um, this one, have either of you started on it or?
Yeah, I've got it almost there.
Okay.
So,
Do you want to share your screen?
okay.
All right. Okay. So we're doing basically three charts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is all about the
Whoa.
different,
There you go.
right?
Yeah,
Have
that
you?
looks real good.
Yeah.
I've
Nice.
spent 3 hours last night and 3 hours today so far on this stupid
Ooh,
thing.
nice.
Oh
But
my.
just because I'm trying to get my mind to understand the formula. Anyway,
Right. That's what
how
I was
it's
struggling with too.
how it flows. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
uh,
So
so yeah.
do we want to? Okay, so we got to start with the two input cells, months and the year. Those aren't too bad. We just
To drop down for
should.
months.
Mm-hmm.
And then the year. Now the year, it said start with 2018 and only go back 4 more years, right?
Right.
Okay. Because if you go back any further, there's no data 4 years back to grab. So anyway, you
Right.
already you already got problems like here. See how all the blank spots show up?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Uh,
because there's
Yeah,
no
it should be
data for
between 2014 and 2018.
there's no data for some of them years for some of them
Mhm.
reps. So
Right.
yeah, I got the two pull down menus.
Okay.
Then off to the side here of the month,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I put a lookup formula, an if formula, saying that if C4 equals January, then 1, and C4 equals February, then 2, and C4 equals March, then 3. So it changes it over to a number for me.
Oh, that's nice.
That way you can do the second part of this table.
Okay.
So without that, it's impossible. So
Really?
can't do it with just the month. Well, I guess you could if you wanted to go call out the month and change it to it in your formula for every month there. So
Yeah.
anyway, it suggested that in the whatever video tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that because on the invoice download to the right, it gives us like a little chart with the month
Yeah,
lookup.
yeah, and that I figured out is just to help whoever created this chart create the chart.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so,
That makes
so
sense.
I only used it to maybe get my lists off of it, kind of thing. So
Okay.
anyway, I didn't count on it for doing any of my formulas myself. So
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So you turned your months into numbers.
and then I hit it, so you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's not there to see.
You just made it the same
Color, yeah,
color. Okay.
yeah. I just
Yeah,
changed
that's
the colors all to blue.
fine. Okay.
That way, it's just not there. But in my formula, like the first one here,
Mm-hmm.
this one didn't need it because it's just going. So I did a sum ifs. So we're summing up the data, which is in that column with all the cells.
Yeah, it's your sales column.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're summing that up if
Do you want to click
the,
on the formula so we can see?
is it showing up at all?
Oh, I
Or
guess.
you want to see that thing?
Yeah, that's the one.
That thing was
So our sum range is the sales data, the sales
sales data.
column.
And then the next
range.
criteria is the sales rep group data.
Okay. So that would just
that was just the other column of all the internet in-house and broker names.
Rep group. Okay.
And then and then that refers to, I clicked on this one here, internet for that column. So if the second one matches the third, then it goes down the list and pulls all them out and puts it in there.
Okay.
So like I said, the first one is always where it's pulling the data from. The next one is what are you referencing? So it's the criteria range. And then the third is the criteria match. So that was my first set of criteria, was finding anything that had internet associated with it. Then the next if statement was going down and looking on the year. So I referenced this year above here, see, well, 2018 right above on my chart.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I referenced the year on the back here on this
the year column.
Column of years over here.
That's for the criteria range.
Yes. So that was a criteria range for the second if. And the criteria was this year, 2018. So I referenced this cell right above in this sales month here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third criteria was the month. So I looked up the month column back on the invoice download data, which was per the number, not the month itself.
Oh, that's what I did wrong, because I started this and I got all the way through this and it wasn't working, and that it's because I hadn't created that numbers.
Yeah, you gotta create this little lookup list here to refer to. So when you refer to the month, you're not referring to this pull down list, you're referring to this cell in front of it.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because if you refer to the month, it's not going to be able to find it, because the months in the invoice download are by number and not by...
Well, they have them both ways, and it'll work in this particular one if you just hook on to June and look for Junes in there, but it won't work when you copy it over here when you got to do all the months, June and back 4 months all year long up to June.
Okay.
So you might as well just build it all per the month of the, the number for the month. So, and then I as I was building this, as he mentioned in his little thing, you got to build your formula so when you drag it over, you know, it's not locked in the wrong spots. So I locked in the row, not the column, on that one. And then I referred on my last if statement, it was for the, that's right, this is the one for the A4, yeah. So yeah, I referred to that year and that column of years to come up with the year. So then it all calculates through. So I'll let you get a good look at that. It took me a long time to get my head, so I knew what was.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with that. I need to create my month thing, because I tried it with the months and it's still giving me an error.
Yeah, and I still did too, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Maybe it has to do with data. What do they call that? The array thing.
Oh yeah. I didn't get that. What that meant.
But you didn't need to use that on this one yet because you don't have any, what did I call that? Array formula.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really get what an array formula was.
it's hard for me to distinguish what that means, but you'll see that. So anyway, I got that one figured out. So then I didn't change anything, did I? So then I was able to just copy that over, and it floated over, so it would do 2017.
Right.
And then copy it down, so it would copy over for each of the different sales reps. And then I just, for this one, I just did sum of the above, for my totals.
Uh-huh. And then you just did the changes from there, right?
Yeah, the change is just 18 minus 17, 2018 minus 17. So and then I guess the total is just the total of those there. I wasn't following very much there. The total of the change still would be about that. So yeah, that works.
Yep. So do you need a red circle where that negative 2138 is?
Yeah, I haven't figured that part out yet. So if I go here to my conditional formatting, manage my rules. Haven't figured out how to make this work yet. So if the icon green, when the value is greater than or equal to, and if I put a value in there of,
well, so right there where it says type, so that's
a percentage. Yeah.
So you need to put like a number. So right there to the right where it says
the type one, that's the one. So
yeah,
you want a number
and change
zero.
Number.
Or 0, right? Greater than or equal to 0.
Yep.
So and then this one here, when it is less than 0, and that's a number again, I guess. That's where I was messing up.
Yep.
But then I go
so wait,
apply.
Go back just 1 second.
Yeah, it didn't do it. So edit. So the red's not showing up. Why is the red not?
So the red is when
you got to change your greater than or equal to sign.
Yeah.
To
so that
doesn't give me something there.
You can reverse the order.
Oh.
So reverse icon order.
Kind of moves them down the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can do when let's see, red equals when.
That's the problem. The only choices you get over here are greater than and equal to.
So try changing
less than 0.
Do the reverse the icon again. And then just make the bottom one red.
Oh yeah. Do the middle one. Yeah, sorry.
No
that was
icon.
easier, Justin.
I'll get no icon there.
And then bottom
and
one.
That one is red.
And try applying that.
Easier. I was like overthinking that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's test it out here. Green. Okay.
There it is. Works.
Look at that.
Red. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Justin.
That was. I hadn't figured. I was working on that before we came online here, trying to figure that one out. So.
Yes.
Okay. So then you apply that same thing to. Well, let's not get ahead of myself here. This one's a little more complicated. Let's go up here and so you just basically copied the formula over. And then said sum if, same thing. I'm looking at the sales data column.
Right.
As where I'm pulling. And then the first criteria is again the name. column and B10, this name.
Mm-hmm.
And I anchored only the column, so it dropped down in rows for me. So when the name matches B10, the internet, it'll pull it. Then over here, if the year column matches G9, which is right above it. So when that's to match the year up is the second if statement. And I made that so it would only anchor and move over when I changed to 217. And then the third if statement says if R6, which is, where's R6? R6.
It's in the invoice download sheet.
It's down in, oh yeah, R6. So that's going to be the month again, the month date, not the date number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. The month number column.
Yep.
Is going to be, and this is where you got to do your little quotes because it's you can't have an equal sign or it thinks there's another formula coming. So I got quote less than or equal to my value in A4, which is that little pull down, which month equals numbers again. So it's going to pull the right number for the month.
Mm-hmm.
End quote. So that's the, how many is that? 3 or 4 criteria for that one. So it wasn't too bad once I figured out, once you get the knack of the flow of this thing, you figure out the first one's always where you're pulling your data for, and then the rest are all just if this then that, if this then that, if this then that, you know, kind of thing. So this should, with the less than and equal to that number, so the number is for whatever this year is November, that's 11, so it's going to be everything less than and equal to 11 is going to add together. So that gives you the year-to-date thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's why that little piece at the end, it's just anything less than equal to that whatever the month date is, it's going to add into that sum if thing. So that gives you year-to-date. So want me to leave it on there for a minute? Are you getting sinking in?
I think so.
Okay. Then over here on average.
Oops. Hit escape.
Oops. Yeah, messed up there. Okay. So this is an average ifs.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing, instead of all the rest, the same all set up through there with, it's a year-to-date thing again, so it's exactly the same formula. All I had to do is change the average if in front instead of sum ifs in front. So like you said, once you figure one of these out, it's pretty easy to carry it over. So once I did that, then I just did my sums for each of the columns, and for the rows, I just did the difference between the years again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go through and do my formatting. Oops, won't do that.
I know, it's so frustrating how easily you can change this formula.
Set, format.
You can, if you want to just copy the other one, it'll copy that format over.
Will it?
Huh?
Oh, I do. So if I go like that.
Yeah, if you copy it and then paste special to format.
Oh, okay. Copy. Paste.
And then it should be the one with the Yeah, you can do that. The formats, yeah. Yep. It should, I think.
Yep. Yeah. It worked.
Oh, it should.
Okay. And I can do the same thing here again. Paste.
Yeah, you can even if you want, you can go to one of those columns and just hit the formula painter or format painter.
Yeah.
Format painter. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You can do that too. I like doing that. It makes it nice.
Okay, so those are formatted.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then I just copied this whole thing and pasted another one.
For a product summary.
And then I went in and changed, added a line and put the names in here as it is on the columns in the other sheet. You got to make sure everything lines up, no space. You can't center this or it won't work. It won't work. You know, I have to leave it to the left justified.
Okay.
At least, I don't know, might work still, but they cautioned us against that.
Okay.
So I added those 4 in there, and then the first one, again, it's the same formula, sum ifs, and you just have to go in and change it to the different columns of data that you need on the invoice download. So I just went in and, like this was before up here, it was AH, so it still sells data on that one.
Right.
But you just have to go in and change which column in all these different
criteria
things.
Range.
Yeah. So I made a little list on them, so I didn't have to go back. It did suggest you named all those ranges. I didn't do it. You know, so you can just pull it up by name.
Right.
I was well into it before I realized it said that. I don't think I'm going to get dinged, but
no, I think you'll be fine. It just it'll make your formulas a little shorter.
Yeah. So you can do that if you want to make it easier on you, name all those different columns. So anyway, then same thing, it's pulling from the month and year for that lamb lotion and large, small lip lotion. So it's the same thing you did up there, just readdressing which column it's pulling from for each of the criteria. Let's see here.
And then the third.
Which one was it? Formats?
Formats.
Yeah.
And then what do you say you do into the paint?
Yeah, so if you your the one that you're highlighted on. No, you got to highlight the format that you want first.
Yep.
That one.
So highlight that, and then hit.
And then click the format painter. Double click it.
And then you can go over to your other whatever you want to paint.
Oh, you must have unclicked it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, highlight it again, and then double click.
Oops.
There you go. And then you can click on the top of that one.
Yep.
There we go.
Do the same thing over there. And then hit escape or just hit format painter again.
Yeah, so you don't paint other things.
Okay. That's painter. All right, the last table was overall summary.
For products.
For products. So average price, I used the average ifs again.
Okay.
I pulled the price per unit for that item. So same thing, you look to where you're going to pull your number, how you're going to reference it by which item you're looking for, and then where you're pulling the data, where you're pulling the matching from, and then what you're matching it to. Sorry.
Right.
There you go. I should click in there and it'll show that.
Right.
There we go.
There it is. Well, your average range, criteria range, and then what criteria you're looking for.
Yeah. So really only one if statement. You could have probably just done average if, but whatever. So
that's all right. And then the standard deviation, that's the one where we have to have the special, yep.
That's where you got to do the little control shift enter at the end because of the array. What do they call that? Yeah. Formula.
Right.
Which I guess I'm not real clear in my mind. I guess array means you've got two different statements in here. Is that an array? Is that what that means, you think?
No.
You got a standard deviation and an if, where the other ones were all just if statements.
No, an array would be like a range. I'm not sure. I think it's just when you do standard deviation. Wasn't there another one too that you had to do that for?
I think so.
Yeah.
Max, maybe? Max and min?
Yeah, that's what it was. Max and min.
Max and min.
Yeah, just because there's no standard deviation if or max if.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if there's no if part of that, it becomes an array. Okay, once you've nested it, I guess is the word.
Nested. Yeah, nested.
When you nest something, you've got to do that. I guess that's the rule of thumb.
Right.
Okay. So I had to play with this till I figure out which way it went. So I have my if statement in here for my price column for your prices, and then the what is that? A6 through, it must be the column of the
item.
Yeah, your product.
I gotta look here.
Yep, that's your product.
So that's AA is the product, AE is the price. Back here, AA is the product compared to this name, so you're picking that out.
Don't forget to hit enter before you click anything else.
Yeah. And then this is the price. So
if true.
So the product matches this, then pill the price. And then that's covered out by a standard deviation S in front of that of whatever that pulls out.
So
did I mess this up? Do I have to do Control Alt Enter?
Yeah.
And there it is.
Okay.
Then I was able to copy that down.
Nice.
Shoot. Anyway.
All right. And then the last step was to protect the.
Yeah, and I have not done that yet either.
Pretty simple, I think. It's in review.
So review.
And then you can protect the sheet.
Protect workbook. No password. They said not to put a password.
So are you doing protect workbook or just protect the sheet?
Yeah, I think you just want to protect the sheet.
So
I think you just want to protect the summary sheet, right?
Yeah, because it says step 5, useful title, and protect the summary sheet so that only the 2 input cells can be changed.
Yeah, then you don't have to put a password in.
So if I say okay.
So
now
then the only ones that you want to click on are the inputs.
So I did this little icon like they told us.
Yep.
I don't know. Did that do it?
Okay, you can.
No, it did it. It froze it. How do I just to get those icons?
Oh, I think you gotta so you would go back to
it.
Okay, then do the locks. Put the locks.
Oh, I gotta hit the lock first.
Yeah. Yeah, you already hit it, so hit the other one. So go to 2018 and do the lock again. Yep. Do the no. Hit it up top.
Oh, and then hit the lock again.
Yep, and then protect the sheet.
And protect the sheet.
I think what you're doing when you're hitting that lock is actually unlocking them.
You're unlocking it. Yeah.
Right.
So now the only two cells that you should be able to change are those two cells. So you try to delete that. Yeah.
Nope.
Yep. It worked.
So it's protected.
Nice. And then that's it. Standards of professionalism. And should be good to go. Nice.
Good work.
Thank you, David.
Like I said, it wasn't that hard once you get your mind going in that flow of those formulas, but it just took me hours to get my head around those formulas. So
yeah, I can tell it's going to be because I tried doing it still with the month and referencing that input cell. It still wouldn't work for me.
You've got to have that number, I guess. Then
yeah, I think
that hidden number.
Yeah.
Lookup cell, they called it.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I wasn't sure
what that meant at first, but then I watched the video. If you watch the video real closely, it shows the formula for this sales rep summary table of year to date real quick. And you freeze it right there. You look what sells it, and it references cell out here you couldn't see. So I says, oh, he's done a little table somewhere he's referring to.
Right.
So.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's great.
All right.